Hi, good evening everybody. It's Friday and this is my last of the 4 days in a row Facebook Live that I'm doing as part of a challenge with my business community. My name is Kate and this is Type1derful. So I hope everyone's having a really great Friday. I've had a really productive one and a really enjoyable day. And it's great to be here today with you all for the fourth episode of KP with T1D. You'll remember we've talked a lot about this week regarding the equipment needed for type 1 diabetes and managing it. Yesterday I gave you a little overview of my story, what's been happening to me in the last couple of years. And the first KP with T1D, I can't even remember what it was that I covered. So please can somebody remember and remind me and talk below here with a comment. Thank you, that's great. Just to say that today what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to cover the three most exciting things that I have discovered from starting my own business and from setting up this business, Type1derful. The first thing is that I have even more than I realised discovered that I am not alone, that there are hundreds of you out there who also work extremely hard with type 1 diabetes, and that you also find it horribly frustrating, both about other people's views, about how your body doesn't do what you expect it to do or what you've been told that it would do, and also that we've all shared very similar negative views from other people, and even some bizarre language from the medical profession as well. So it's made me realise actually that I'm not an outlier. I'm an unusual case. I'm actually not really as different as I thought. I don't know what you might think about my top and my outfit. I'm not sure you all have a shirt like this. I bought it in America. If you want to know where I got it from, I will give you the details below if you want to ask me. So yeah, I didn't realise that I was that typical. So I've now got to come to terms with the fact that perhaps I'm not unusual. But in some senses, I think that's actually really important because that's exactly the reason why I set up the business Type1derful. What I wanted to really do is provide that bespoke support, but the very dedicated support that only somebody who also has the same condition as you can actually really provide. I'm not clinically trained. However, my 18.5 years of the same disease as you provides me with a huge amount of experience that you cannot learn, except for living this life. You can't read a book and understand it as much as I can, and you can't study for 5 years and understand as much as I can. In the same way that you all would understand if I told you how surprised I was earlier when oops, someone's just liked it. Thanks for the like. I can't see who you were, but hi. Where are you in the world? Give us a comment and tell us where you are. Yeah, so I've lost track now and I've totally forgotten what it was that I was saying. I'm sorry about that. I know that I was talking about I'm no longer viewing myself as an outlier, which is interesting because I've always known myself to be a little bit different to other people. However, in terms of my condition, really what I'm learning a lot about is, hi Herbert, thanks for watching. What I'm learning a lot about is that that I'm not alone and that so many of us have this same struggle. The second thing that I'm learning about setting up my own business is that there's a huge need out there because I'm not the only one. So really what I'm recognizing is that these videos, which have reached I think something like 2,000 people so far, and my page has been seen by something like 3,000 people. I've been looked at by people in Saudi Arabia, Brazil and Argentina. They seem to be the three countries that have looked at my last video the most. Absolutely mad. But but there seems to be a need for this discussion, and whether or not it's about my business and my service, or whether this is just about opening up the conversation to be more honest about the fact that we all share this issue. So for type 1s, for us to be maybe thinking a little bit differently about how we relate to ourselves and how we explain ourselves to others. One of the things I'm definitely going to encourage my clients, I mentioned it today to one of them, one of the things I'm going to encourage is going to be doing short films, and doing a short film of themselves talking about their body, their condition, how they feel about blood tests, how they feel about injections or pump dosing, how they feel about all of these things, and to share it to their loved ones. And even a 10-minute video of somebody that you care about talking about something they find difficult, I think is quite cathartic for the person, and I think it's also quite useful for their loved ones to see them explaining things in their own terms. I think that's a really important thing. One thing that I'm very passionate about, and I've always been very passionate about, is somebody needs to ask me how I feel. They can't presume it. Somebody needs to check in with me how something is working or not working for me. They can't theorise. And I think quite often when people try and provide support to one another, they do often come with their own, oh, hi, Kim. Hi, Kim. Thank you for your message. That's lovely. Thank you. Keep sharing my videos. One of the things that we know that people often do is they come with their own agenda, and they want to help somebody, but actually they might actually not be helping because they're only coming from their own perspective. And trying to understand type 1 diabetes when you don't have it, I'm sure is completely impossible. In some respects, yes, I can see that it probably would be impossible. But you know what? You really have to ask questions, and you really have to listen, and you have to clarify how someone feels, and see if you can understand a way in which you can relate to that with your own experiences of anything difficult or anything that's required a huge amount of resilience. So I think I've mentioned two things. I guess the third one that I would say is one of the things I've learned from setting up my own business, and actually from this challenge particularly. So I'd like to thank my coach Simone for his suggestion for me getting involved in this challenge. I've actually recognised that when I stand up and talk about something, or when I sit down, especially this subject which is so important to me, my passion and my compassion comes across so greatly. And when I've seen messages that I've had from a number of you who have commented on the videos, and also private messages, and even messages that I've had from friends and family about some of the things I've been saying, that actually what I say is resonating with people. It's raising awareness, it's helping them. And it's made me realise really that that doesn't sound so good. It's made me realise that there's a massive benefit in me standing here and talking like this. And again, that relates to the other 2 points. You know, I'm not alone, and I'm not the only one, and you know that this discussion is needed, and that me standing here and talking about it is an important step for me as an individual. Obviously, still on a daily basis coming to terms with the situation. But also being able to try and share some of that struggle, because you know we're not alone ultimately. And I think we have this social media network, and you know there's a great book by Putnam about people in social isolation given the modern world, and its focus on sort of social networks as opposed to individual social networks. So you should read the book Bowling Alone. It's excellent. I read that 11 years ago. All of my LSE former colleagues will remember that one. So yeah, and I think the fourth thing, I'm pretty sure I only said there were, hi Eliana, I think I only said there were 3 things, and now I think I'm talking about a 4th one. One of the things that I've realised about setting up this organisation is that really what it's done is it's me doing some work which actually fits in with what I find important. And what's really interesting is a couple of months ago I had an amazing coach who was helping me with a number of other things in my life, and the first thing she asked me to do was to do this test by Dr. John DeMartini called the Values Assessment. And I did this test, and we talked about it a little bit, But ultimately it kind of went out of my mind, and I hadn't really remembered that I did it in October. And a few weeks ago, I went to watch Dr. John Demartini. Absolute honour to be one of the very few people in London was able to see him on that day. To watch him talk about his values framework and about being happy and about ensuring that the work you do is congruent with the things that you feel are important to you. So for example, this was one of the things that I've kind of come up with and tried to use as an example to explain to other people that if somebody is really interesting in flowers and they happen to work in a matchbox factory and they really love flowers, the smell of them, the feel of them, everything about them, they'd be much happier if they were working in a garden centre. And even just in that very simple statement there of, you know, perhaps they may not be a hugely ambitious person and they may not be striving to have all of the money in the world, but ultimately success for them would be that happiness of being around flowers every day of their working life. And I forget who it is that said, do the thing you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And that's something I've always wanted to strive for. And in most of the work I've done, I have been extremely passionate about my work. When I worked with young people, absolutely loved it. When I worked in sexual health, absolutely loved it. And so setting up this organisation really for me has led me to be able to do things that I know I'm good at and that I'm really interested in. I love helping people. I love listening to people's problems and working with them to try and solve them. Any of people who are watching me now talking like this, who know me well, probably have come to me with a problem at least once in their life. And probably I may have helped them solve it. So I know that I'm quite good at looking at things and analysing them and supporting people, not judgmentally, and seeing the best way forward for them. So really what I guess I could say about this is that as I was watching Dr. John Demartini talking a few weeks ago, I suddenly had a brainwave and I remembered I did the values framework that he's talking about. I did it online. Where is it? Scrolling through my phone, feeling a bit rude. I want to be watching the guy. I want to be listening to him. This guru, this amazing guy was brilliant. So watch some of Demartini's videos online. If you can't find one on YouTube, ask me and I'll point you in the right direction. And yeah, he was talking about the values framework and I just thought, I've got to find, where's the email? I must find the email. Found his website, logged in, my phone automatically logged in, went to the thing. You will not believe, I mean, I'll have to post the picture of what the thing said, but the values framework asks you to rank all the things that you find important in your life. And the number one thing that I find important is helping others. The number two thing that I find important is my health. The number three thing that I find important is diabetes. And I'm standing here talking about diabetes and about my experience to try and help you. And offering my services to support professionals, to work with your friends and family and partners, and to work with parents of people with type 1, all for the same reasons. So you can imagine, I mean, those of you who know me quite well, and even if you don't know me yet, you can see I'm a bit dynamic and maybe a little bit cheeky and slightly daring, and I don't mind to go up and ask people questions. I think last night at an event I maybe scared somebody slightly when I just told them they were really brave the way they stood up on stage and, you know, nervously performed poetry and hip-hop they hadn't done for a while. Sorry about that, Doc Brown, but you were brilliant anyway. Maybe I should send this video to him. Maybe I should. Anyway, back to the point. So yeah, what I did was boldly went up to Dr. John Demartini afterwards and I said to him, I can't believe it. About 6 months ago I did your test. I was only remembering I did it sitting in this chair watching you. This is my result. Can I just tell you now, from last week I've just launched a new business and this is what it's doing. Dr. John Demartini said to me, to my face, oh, you are now congruent. I just thought, wow, I've arrived. I've arrived and I've found my purpose and I know exactly what it is that I need to do with my life on a 24 basis, because to be honest, if I don't sleep again, I don't mind. If I'm out there talking to you guys, if I'm on the phone, on Skype, talking to people to help them work out the way forward and to think differently about their body, to think differently about all of the slightly ugly equipment that we with type 1 have to deal with, and to try and see that, you know, if you want to jump off a building and do parkour on the weekend, that's cool. Why not do it? And if you really want to have a kid and you're really struggling trying to work out the best way to bring your averages down, I'd really like to help you work that out, because sometimes in modern life, and I think, you know, we see this more and more, particularly with young people and social media, and I put lip gloss on for this video. I mean, really, why? I redid my eyeliner. What? Can you even see that I've got, you can't even see I've got eyeliner on and I redid it. Why? You know, image, I must look good, right? In my pink top. I don't know if you're all still there. Nobody's commented. I've seen a few. Oh, I've seen one like and one comment. Okay. Let me get back to the point. So where was I? So this thing about how we identify with ourselves, how we think about things, and moving on from, you know, everything being so objectified and everything being so negative. And, you know, young people today, like I said, I've worked in youth work in the past. Hi, Kim. I'm glad you're still there. Hi. I have no idea where you are, but I'm waving. Hi. Yeah, so that's just totally thrown me, and I'm totally losing my point, but at least I'm smiling. And I'm just remembering what I said about eyeliner. Can you even see my eyeliner? You can't see my eyeliner. Young people, that was it. Young people today, we often as parents will say to them, oh yeah, it's okay, you can sit in the corner. Thanks for the like. Hi Jennifer, you can leave the kids sitting in the corner with a screen. And we wake up, we look at a screen, we go to work, we look at a screen, we come home, we look at a screen. Screens. There's lots of screens, but are we really actually interacting properly? And thanks for the eyeliner comment. Is it even there? Oh, it's blue. Can you see? Hi. I need to stop doing that. Denise will tell me off. My friend Denise is telling me off all the time that I always hunch my shoulders. I must stop hunching. I must stop. Okay. So young people, hi Jeff, thanks for the eyeliner comment. Hi Jeff, nice to see you. Let's move past the eyeliner. More likes, thank you, thumbs up. Young people today, we often leave them with screens. We often think it's okay they're with the tablet in the corner of the room. But how do we know what's happening in their experience? Do we know that they are safe on social media? Do we know that something is going on for them? We don't know. And in the same way that bullying often now is happening so much in that more covert way, when I was in school in the 80s, if someone was bullying you, a teacher saw it. Someone was flicking ink at you, hiding your lunch, throwing rubbers at you, whatever it was. People used to see this stuff more and more. And I just kind of think that because we're in a much more social network type space, this is an advantage for someone like me to talk like this. Jeff and Jennifer, I don't know where you are in the world. To be honest, you could be anywhere. You could be 5 minutes down the road somewhere in South London. I've no idea. But we need to have this dialogue and we need to speak more openly about it together, because we're sharing similar experiences, but we're all very separated. And you know, particularly in the UK, I think it's, what is it, 400,000 people with type 1? That's a lot, but not that many, all in the same way. And unless you go out there looking for people, you might not find them. Hi, Berkshire. Hi, Kim in Berkshire. So, yeah, I just think that this whole opening up the dialogue and getting more chat happening, I think it's really important. I don't know what you guys think. I'm thinking of stopping in a second, so if you've got any questions or you want me to carry on, please type a comment now and pretty quickly. Oh, Florida. Oh, wow. Ha! I've never been to Florida, Jennifer. I've never been to Florida. I've been to a few places in the States. I've been to New Orleans. I've been to Houston. I've been to New York, Boston, Washington, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Maryland, Ocean City, Maryland. I've been to Cincinnati. I've been to someplace in Kentucky that's where the airport for Cincinnati is. And I've been to Buffalo. That's not bad, is it? For a British person. I've been to a few places in America, but never Florida. Yeah, Jeff, where are you? Tell us where you are. Yeah, and I've lost my train of thought. So, only a few, yeah. Yeah, I've lost my train of thought. I guess really what I wanted to say, and I've been to Pittsburgh, yay! I really loved the Warhol Museum. It was amazing. I went there in 1997 and I played the piano in a youth hostel. Bizarre fact there, bizarre. I guess really what I wanted to say more than anything is I just feel really empowered myself. I feel really happy myself. I feel more in charge of myself, of my body, of my condition. I feel more able to stand up for what I believe in. I feel more able to offer my help and support to other people because I feel like I'm not alone. I feel like other people are interested in actually hearing my story, like you guys listening now, and people who I've never met and who have no idea who I am. Jeff in Pittsburgh and Jennifer in Florida. I mean, this is ridiculous. And it's even ridiculous that I've now forgotten which city that Jennifer lives in, and I'm just saying Florida because it's a state. Thank you so much, Kim. That's lovely. Thank you. That's lovely. I have to come to Berkshire and see you guys soon. Yeah, after all, your husband's one of my oldest friends. I really should see you guys soon. Yeah, and I knew him when I was having my symptoms. After all, me and Greg were hanging out and I had symptoms and I didn't even know why I was passing out and not feeling very well. And I know that I'm now rambling a huge amount. Gainesville, Jennifer, Gainesville. I'm so sorry. I don't know where Gainesville is, but I'm going to look it up because I want to learn. My geography A-level didn't teach me anything about Gainesville, Florida. I do know most of the states of America in alphabetical order, though. I know that M and N are the best letters because they both have 8 states. Isn't that amazing? Shall I even see if I can do it now? Shall I do it now? Okay. So M, you have Maryland, you have Maine, you have Minnesota, you have... I said Maryland, Mississippi, you have Missouri, you also have, what are they? Michigan, you also have, have I said Minnesota? I've said Minnesota. You also have, why can't I remember? Montana, and there's another one. And then with N, you have New Mexico, you have New York, you have New Jersey, you have Nevada, you have Nebraska, you have North Dakota, you have North Carolina, and I've missed one M and one N. But please tell me from someone from London, I'm not doing badly here with your geography, right? Come on, Jennifer, tell me I'm doing all right. What's the other M and the N that I missed? There must be something there that I've missed. But now we're moving on to American states, and that's not what this conversation's about. But I'm quite enjoying talking to a vision of myself, which is really bizarre. But I think I'm going to end there because that was a little bit too rambling. And thank you everybody for listening and for being live with me. That's really great. Please do comment below if you have any questions. Please also let me know if you want me to do more videos. I'm quite happy. New Hampshire, that's it. But what was the one with M? What was the one with M? Montana, Maryland, Maine, Minnesota. What's the other one? Michigan, Missouri. I've forgotten them again. Maryland, Montana. There's one that I'm missing and it begins with M, and I know what it is, but I can't remember. Maine. No, I said that one. Shay, you there with your geographical knowledge? Don't know. You're probably shouting at this, watching it later on. So now I am going to stop, and I'm going to conclude by saying I'm extremely happy that Dr. John DeMartini said to me, this regular person, maybe I'm not regular, but this average person, maybe I'm not average, this person from London who just had an idea to, in January, I had this idea to do this organisation. And in January, on that same day, I had the name of the organisation. And yeah, so, oh, hi, Katie. Hi, Katie Taylor. Hi, thanks for joining. Yeah, so, I totally forgotten what I'm saying. I'm going to have to go because I just keep going too excited and I just keep rambling. So unless anyone has a question and unless Jennifer can remind me what the last M is with the American states, then I'm going to say goodbye. And then I'm going to watch this back and I'm going to be quite embarrassed about the fact that I didn't have any structure. And yes, I'll do more videos. And how often do you want them? I was thinking weekly. Is that enough? Is that too often? I don't think I can do daily because that's kind of hard. And it's a little bit tiring. But yeah, I'm happy to do weekly. Does weekly sound okay? Okay, I'm going to leave you guys. And thank you so much, particularly to Jeff and to Jennifer for joining. And Jennifer doesn't know what the other M is. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. Okay, there's 8. There's 8. I've got 8 in my hand here. So there's Maine, there's Montana, there's Michigan, there's Minnesota, there's Maryland, there's Mississippi. Ooh, what were the other ones? Michigan, Montana. Did I say Montana? See, look, it's really hard. I can't remember which one I've missed. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to swat up. And next time I'll see if I can do all of them. I think there's 50. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been KP with T1D with the worst geography lesson for America that you've ever seen. Thank you.